All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of The Deviled Advocate. It's me. It's your boy. It's Sam. It's old Sam Stiglmeyer back at it again, chilling as always. You know me. If I'm not chilling, I'm trying to chill as soon as possible. Tonight, I am chilling with my good buddy, Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you? I'm good.
Doing well. Friend of the show. This is, I think, your fourth appearance.
Yeah.
Plus, I put one of our old episodes in there.
Yeah. Those are cool to happen upon.
Yeah. I don't know. I've listened to most of them. The audio quality is pretty bad. But I think I just have 3 that we recorded in cars.
Oh, okay.
While driving. So,
yeah.
That was a fun little challenge.
You know what? I knew either way, it'll be something to like look back and have a listen to here and then. And
yeah.
Who cares if it's whatever it is, it is. But I find I'm entertained when I start it. You know, like I'll listen to one. It's in my library on my phone. So
really?
Sometimes like I'll be listening to a great song, then all of a sudden I'll be like, "Hey, we're back." It's like,
yeah,
oh.
It just catches up because
Khaled. Yeah.
DJ Khaled.
So and he quit producing our podcast. So
I know we had to shut it down.
we had cool. Like Nick involved for a few. Like I have those where old roommate Nick would come and stop paying attention.
You just sit there,
live.
Had a mic, never talked into it when he was asked to.
No.
Didn't want to be a part of it at all.
No.
It was kind of fun, kind of goofy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And there's a lot. We did a lot of them.
I feel like we recorded upwards of 20 episodes.
It's got to be. I have a bunch. And, every time I feel like I give some to you, I find more.
Yeah, I think I have like 6.
Yeah, and
maybe there's
many
more than
somewhere.
That. But,
yeah.
I don't know. You just saw Connor Oberst live. We've seen him before.
Yeah, and this was the 3rd time, and also this was a different. Each time I see him, it's like a different. It was Desiprecitos, and then it was Connor Oberst, and then this one was New Oblivion Community Center. It's him and Phoebe, whatever.
Did you ever see Bright Eyes live?
Oh yeah, but that was like in high school, and that was like a sit-down show at like Roy Wilkins.
I don't like sit-down shows. They suck.
Yeah, I didn't know much better at that point. At that point, going to a show is what we called it then. I wish I still could, but I feel really old when I
still
call
it
that.
A show.
Yeah, you're cool to do that.
Thanks, man.
We in high school we would go to what was called the Quest, and it's really similar to. It looks a lot like the main room actually at first. Or that's what it looked like. Now I think it's called Epic. It's just like a sleazy nightclub at this point.
Yeah.
But that's where we would go, and we would go see shows like Taking Back Sunday, Rufio, AFI, and these are like that's like one ticket, like that's one bill, and that's like a $7 show.
That's crazy.
It was nuts, and like I would go to shows by myself. Like one day there was this. It was called the Ascot Room that was upstairs at the Quest.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, back then I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what an
fancy.
Ascot was. The whole place was like a beautiful shithole. It was like perfectly crappy. It was like Venice Beach. You know how Venice Beach is like, it sucks, but it's perfect. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. The Quest was perfect like that. I think the rumor was always that it was Prince's place.
Oh
that
yeah,
Prince owned it.
I've
that was like
definitely heard rumors about that. I always thought that was First Ave, but I
And
mean,
maybe-
how would it have been? You know,
I don't know.
with all of the
And now
different
First
venues
Ave
they
owns
own.
everything.
Yeah.
They're just scooping up property.
I'm okay with it.
That's
I like
fine. They do
I
a
like
good
the music
job.
they bring to town.
Yeah. It is really thanks to them that we get like other than Taylor Swift and
Oh sure.
whoever is on the radio.
Like they didn't bring Weezer in the other night.
No,
You
they
know,
didn't.
that was the
Or
XL.
the Pixies, Sam. How was that? That blows my mind. That like, did they play like old stuff? Did they play like Gigantic or?
Yeah,
like,
they played Gigantic.
oh my God. See, I would have pooped. That's why they didn't tell me they were coming.
They play. Yeah,
No,
I
he'll
mean,
poop. That oh man, when I was in like junior high and high school, that band was I just thought they were fantastic. Still do.
unreal. They sounded great.
Yeah.
I think they had the full lineup. The show started with this British kind of punk, kind of rock band called Basement, and they were good. But you know, it's 5 dudes playing to 15,000 people or whatever, you know, that are just coming in.
And you're opening for Pixies, who
So-
are opening for that's
Yeah.
nuts.
Like they had a
Good
very
luck.
small stage presence, whereas Weezer like filled up the entire room when they played. But the Pixies was weird because like everybody we talked to, you know, we talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I went with Dave, my best friend at movie night. His stepdad gave him Weezer and Pixies tickets for Christmas.
Wow.
You know,
Wow, planner.
since I'm the only person who, well, he gets a lot of free tickets through his work. He works on like the board of the XL or something.
Nice.
So Dave was like, "Hey Sam, I got Weezer tickets. You want to go?" But everybody we talked to there
Wow.
didn't know who the Pixies were.
What?
Yeah. Like there were people that were there to see the Pixies,
Yeah.
and then everybody else was just like, "Yeah, I'm here to see Weezer. They're on the
See,
radio."
Yeah, to me it would have been like, yeah, there's like a Weezer's playing like an after party after the Pixies are done. Like
And it was.
to me it was like the Pixies. What a crazy! I'm so stupid for not just going to that. I live in the same city that they were in.
It was an unreal show. The Pixies played every song that you know by them, and then a bunch of other good ones. I'm not a huge Pixies fan.
Mm-hmm.
I should say I wasn't a
Yeah.
huge Pixies fan. I
Yeah.
am now.
Don't you love that?
It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
Like I just never had a reason to dive into their
That's a
catalog.
good feeling.
It was
Pixies
great.
are so good. Okay, well, I have a few other. You should check out like Juliana Theory. There's a few other bands that I was listening to at the exact same time as them
Sure.
that really. That's how my memory works. Like
just because you were listening to them at the same time, but they're
Yeah.
like not connected at all.
you turn into like a
Juliana Theory
long-haired
is
high school
just-
kid.
Ballet
Yeah.
like music.
Well, my sister lived right above me.
Juliana
did.
Theory. What are some other ones? And can
Red
you give
House
me-
Painters, but they're a totally different sound, but they're amazing. I think they have a song in they had a song in a really big movie soundtrack, Vanilla Sky. Red House Painters have a song on the Vanilla Sky soundtrack.
I can picture the cover of that DVD.
Yeah,
But
that's a good movie.
Or the movie or whatever, the poster.
Yeah, it's good.
I have never seen it.
It's really good. Tom Cruise is amazing. What a weirdo. You can't sleep over, Tom, but I want to watch all your movies with you.
He's definitely a bonkers dude.
Definitely, yeah.
Would like to like
He drives the bananas train, but
Yeah.
totally like amazing. I think he's an incredible actor. I love his movies.
I haven't seen very many.
Oh, I'm such a sucker. Like Born on the 4th of July,
I
so
haven't seen it.
good.
Is that what is it a
Days
spring-
of Thunder. Born on the
Springsteen
4th of
biopic?
July, he's basically
Oh, tight.
he's a veteran, like he's a wounded vet who comes back to no fanfare. Oh no, he makes it great. And then or like I mean Top Gun, that's low hanging fruit. But like Days of Thunder.
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Top Gun?
Haven't seen it.
That's fine. But it is really good. I will like Top Gun's great. If it's on TV, like Harper and I watch it. Like
Sure.
Harper's seen it, he digs it. He's confused by some parts of it, but yeah, so was I back then. I was like, wait,
How come they get to go on planes, but I've never been in one?
and why are they being sexy with each other all the time? These guys love volleyball.
I get the reference, but I don't. You know, I've seen that joke 1,000 times.
Hanging with the boys. Yeah, the song "Hanging with the Boys" is just blaring in the background where they're like just taking their shirts off and like getting sweaty, and it's just dudes.
yeah.
They're on a base.
Does it have anything to do with how it's like edited and the sound that makes it so?
Yeah, because like it's like head shakes, you know, like when you take
Yeah.
your shirts off, and it's like none of those are girls.
and nobody does that anyway.
No,
Like, I have long hair. When I take my shirt off, I put another shirt back on immediately.
And I was like 7, and I saw that, and it like sent alarms off. Because there was women on the base, but they're smart. They're like in the classrooms teaching, like they're teaching like the Top Gun courses or something like that. There's no like babe type situation, like thing, it's not like a Baywatch scene. It is a Baywatch scene, but on the beach day where the girls were all sick, it's just dudes.
Oh, but do you think maybe they just had a different volleyball club that they played in?
Maybe.
So because you've seen Olympic beach volleyball, right? Those are some skimpy bikinis.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
it is for like a sanctioned sport.
Yeah.
That's the reason I quit. No, but like really, that's the reason I wouldn't play, because I was like, just that?
No,
like,
it's bizarre. It's like a Borat bikini.
They give them an eye patch, and they're like, "This is all. Das ist alles."
A lot of beach volleyball going on in Germany.
Totally,
it's very popular over. Popular. What's the premise of Top Gun?
The premise of Top Gun is a loose cannon of a Navy pilot, because the most elite pilots you learn from this movie are actually in the Navy, not the Air Force. Top Gun is a Navy training program, not Air Force.
Well, the Navy has more aircraft carriers than the Air Force.
Well, yeah. Good point. So the top pilots get selected to be in this program called Top Gun, and it's like I don't want to take him, he's crazy. It's like one of those things. But his dad was really good. It's that. And so he's a legacy. He wouldn't have made it into the program if he wasn't a legacy. There's probably like so many people listening right now. They're like, oh, okay, but I think that's the basic premise. And then, him and his partner get in, and they're like everybody knows it. Like, you wouldn't have got in. They're the Mighty Ducks. They're District 9.
Sure.
And they're up against a bunch of Iceland.
See that reference? Yep, I get.
Yeah, it's like there's like 5 Icelands.
Ooh.
And each Iceland is
Could
just
you
a 2-man team.
Like, no more Norway. Iceland 2.
Yeah, okay. You get this. Oh, my God. Every day for 2 years. When I worked at where we went to school.
Sure.
I went to school and worked there at the same time for 2 years. And when you go down in the parking ramp, it's like, it'll say like level 4 going down. Every single time in my head, I would hear Team USA is going down. That's where they're going. With some like slicked back hair guy. Every time I would just think about that. Team USA is going down. That's where they're going. Going down.
I don't understand the part about the ramp. I always parked on the lower levels.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always parked at level 5 in the exact same parking spot.
I usually went straight to the overflow lot.
Okay.
I'm not going to drive up the ramp.
Well, that elevator was a sucker deal. 1 elevator to serve an entire parking ramp.
Really?
Yeah.
Not a huge parking ramp. Pretty nice parking ramp. For free.
They didn't have it before we existed there.
Oh,
like,
sure.
They were just like street parking and stuff. Like, it's really weird. How would you do that? How would you work there? How would you have employees?
They probably didn't.
There was some kind of a surface lot, like a small surface lot, and then there was just like on 7th and on 6th, people would just street park all over the place. That's not okay.
If there wasn't a parking spot, this is how I was in Duluth. Not great. When I lived off campus, if I was not on my moped and there wasn't a parking spot in the lot that I had a pass for, because they'd sell more passes than they had spaces.
Yeah, so stupid.
I just wouldn't go to class.
I did the exact same thing at Normandale. It's a little community college in metropolitan Minnesota, like in the Twin Cities. Yeah, I did the exact same thing. My thing though was you had to pay for parking there, and they gave you a permit, and that just gave you access to. They had like 5 little things that they would consider parking lots. 2 of them were large parking lots, but they would fill up immediately. Now they have a ramp. It's all figured out, but they didn't then. My first day of school, they're like, oh, you just have to park at the ice gardens and take the shuttle. And I was like, no, Ronnie doesn't. And I just went home. Like, good first day of college. I just bailed. But my whole thing, it wasn't like the parking and the walking. It was I couldn't bear to walk into a classroom even 5 minutes late because everyone's going to turn their head and look at you. And those are big for being a community college, they were big classes. They had like the stadium style, because I was taking like the generals that
Like
every
a-
person took.
Like a lecture hall.
A lecture hall. I was taking the classes you took before you quit. The classes every person takes, because I quit.
Philosophy.
Oh, it was like sociology.
I feel like everybody who goes to college for philosophy gets like 3 classes into it, and they're like, "This is pointless, man."
And it's like, you passed. That would be so funny.
They're like, yeah, they just have to pass you because
You
they
did
need
it.
people to graduate.
Yeah. Can you just write a page about your experience? Then you can graduate.
We need
I
you to
don't know.
graduate so I can retire and you can teach the class. It's just babysitting, or is it?
Money isn't real.
Okay.
It has no
forget it.
real intrinsic value, man. I don't know what intrinsic means. I heard that in Veep. So how does Top Gun end?
Do we do spoilers?
Movies. I am a proponent of, like, if it's out of theaters,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, it was out of theaters when I was out, before I was out of the womb.
I mean,
And that's
like,
mid 80s.
like if somebody were to spoil Us for me right now, that new Jordan Peele flick, or
Yeah.
The Beach Bum,
Yeah.
that new McConaughey number,
Yeah.
I would be very upset
Yeah.
because they're in theaters.
Yeah.
They've been in theaters for 2 weeks.
But these things are like 30 plus years.
Yeah, if you haven't, like,
Okay.
I'm asking for the spoiler because I have no intention of watching it.
Tom falls in love with
And is his name Goose or is he?
He's Maverick.
Okay.
Goose is his partner, who he gets to bring with him on this journey because he was his partner before he was selected for the program. Goose dies in a mission
Is
that
it-
they're doing.
Is it because Maverick's a bit of a wild card?
Yeah, because he had to eject. And then Goose ended up ejecting too quick and ejected straight into the canopy.
Don't you
And-
hate when that happens?
Yeah.
When you
Well, I
eject-
quit doing it.
When you eject too quick.
That's why I take the bus. And so, yeah, so Goose dies, and so Maverick's sad. And then also Maverick is dating one of like the Smart Whip Navy instructors.
Sure. She probably turned him around a little bit.
She's kind of trying to get a saddle on
Yeah.
the stallion, but
It's a bit of a Maverick.
he's a Maverick and he's through and through. But here's the weird thing. It's one of those 80s tricks where she's not that cute, but she is the cutest, like she's the hot one in the movie.
Sure.
It's like a Jamie Lee Curtis thing where it's like, wait, what? Like that's my dad used to always be like, "Oh yeah."
Wait,
And
what?
I would be like,
You don't
"That's
think,
a girl. That's not a girl, dad."
you don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is a babe?
Oh, never.
What about in those Activia commercials? Or
All I think about is her taking dumps.
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make her more attractive.
Hi, I was never hot, but now I poop a bunch. Yeah, yogurt.
On a schedule.
Yeah. I time it to my iPhone. No, I was always, as a kid, she was like one of the babes that was presented to me on, like in the pop culture lexicon. It was like, the hottest person on the planet. I was like, what? Like, no.
She's definitely not the hottest person on the planet.
There were good choices. There were so
80s
many choices.
It was a good time for.
Yeah, there was also like
babes.
Sinead O'Connor, which was a confusing one too.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember watching that Nothing Compares music video with my parents and just looking at them and then being like, it's not good. I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah.
She's Irish or Scottish?
Yes. No, I don't know. One of
One of the
those.
two.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I
Yeah.
always thought her name was Sinead. Which
Yeah,
makes-
it's spelled Sinead. Yeah, or
Uh,
Sinead, yeah.
the Irish people.
S-I-N.
Who's that?
Sinbad O'Connor.
That gal in Lady Bird. Her name's like Shersha or something like that.
Oh.
It's like SOISAR.
Does it have like the umlaut looking things above the O?
No,
No.
I don't think so. It's just pronounced very weird. She's a talented though. Did you like Lady Bird?
Never seen it.
Oh, it's
I'm not
pretty good.
familiar.
It's pretty good. They got Dave Matthews in the soundtrack. So,
Oh.
you like period pieces?
Sometimes.
This is a period piece about 2003.
I was just gonna say, I like period pieces that when they do a really good job of just going back 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a chore.
Like you don't
Like
have
that's
to
a
go
task.
to the
I really
70s
like
or
that.
80s.
Or like you don't have to fill the car with like cars from the 50s. Like I get it. You can do that. But I like that you're like, oh, they're using the Motorola whatever, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when they just get it, when it's like that's what people noticed at that time. Or you see like a Burger King wrapper that you haven't seen for 10 years. Because that doesn't seem that long ago. Like you won't be that far disconnected from that, you wouldn't think. But yeah, I love period pieces that aren't that long ago. Those impress me.
It's great, and it's about being in high school, in the time you were in high school. Did you go to a private high school at all?
No,
That was
public.
That was
Prior Lake High School, baby.
younger?
I hated it.
You went to like a Catholic school.
Yeah, I went to a Montessori school.
And what is Montessori?
Montessori, weird. I don't know. They still do it, but it's. I was in a classroom that had like kindergarten level learning through like 6th grade. All of us were in like the same room together until like a couple hours into it. The oldest kids would like leave for a little bit. They would be gone for like an hour or two. And they'd come back all bruised up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
they would come back. They would go like get instruction somewhere else, like on a different subject. But yeah, you were everybody had instruction in the same room. But like when the older kids were doing their math, I was already working on something. Like I had been given instruction. And so I'm doing something, and then the teacher focuses on these kids for a little bit, and then she goes to the other.
It's like a big Venn diagram of like
learning.
Well,
you don't need as many teachers.
You need less like students, or more chairs.
Well, and that's why they left. Well, and like I remember there's also like when you're the youngest, you're also napping once a day for like an hour or two.
Dude,
so that gives them
tight.
Yeah, and I just remember the food was really, really great. It was always like bag lunches, but I don't know, for some reason I remember loving the food there, but I guess that was food that my mom would have like packed for me. I just remember there was a refrigerator. You'd walk into this like big kitchen. It was in a Lutheran church.
Sure.
And then it was like in a wing of the church that was a school. And then there was a kitchen, and you'd walk in, and there's a big like refrigerator that you'd open, and then that's where you'd put your lunch, and then you'd go into like you'd take off your coat in the hallway and hang it up, and then you go in the classroom.
So you brought your lunch every day?
I would bring my lunch every day, but I just remember loving it there at that school, particular for some reason. I don't know why. They didn't even offer. There wasn't like a hot lunch service. That wasn't even an offering at that school. One memory though I have about that school, you would. Where you hang up your coat, everybody would have a bag of a spare set of clothes in case you had a blowout.
Yeah.
And so one time,
I still do that.
It's smart. Well, as you age, you got to do it again. Going right back. But yeah, so one time it happened. The need arose, and so I went from the bathroom to the class, and I was just like, I'm just gonna suck it up and just ask for it. I'm not gonna say what happened. I'm just gonna ask for my spare set of clothes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I can't reach my spare set. Can I get my change of clothes? And the teacher looked down at me, and she goes, oh, did you wet your pants? And I said, no, because I didn't. And she said, oh, well, then you don't need them. And then she just moved on.
Oh, man, like nothing else could have happened.
Yeah, I was like, anything else?
Yeah.
Could anything else have happened, Miss Michelle? That was her name, Miss Michelle.
Spilled milk on your pants, you know.
But I had a pants full of dump, and I did for the rest of that day too. But Miss Michelle, man, her perfume that she wore, she was very pretty, very good looking. I don't know, probably like mid-20s, because she seemed like she was like 50.
Sure.
So she was probably like early to mid-20s. But
I have this weird thing.
perfume,
I think teachers are just more attractive because they have a motherly quality to them.
and authority.
Yeah.
They're definitely. Oh my God, I always had so much respect for teacher. I mean, man or woman, but I always really looked up to like my teachers. I thought that was a very important. I gave that role a lot of weight. I still do.
Yeah.
Like I feel very accountable to my kid's teacher. You know, like if he'd never assign stuff, which is amazing, but if he does, it's always, you know, when his teachers or his prior ones have, it's like, come on, we have to do this. Like now that's a part of the night.
Well, yeah.
She can do that.
If you want to learn how to, you know, dial a phone, you got to do your homework. You got to know numbers, bro. You got to know letters. You got to learn how to read.
Yeah.
Does your little dude read?
You will only practice calisthenics.
He's just like super dumb, but he can jog for like a really long
Days.
time. Yeah. I don't even check miles. I just get on the run.
Boy is stupid, but swing like a stick. Okay. That swing like a stick. That was, oh man. In gym in high school, I maxed out on gym. I took every gym class that we offered, and one of them was gymnastics, and it was gymnastics 1 and 2. And in gymnastics 2, me and this kid Tony Minta, I don't know where he was from, but he talked like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's just the inflection that his name brought out because of the syllables. Tony
Minta. Yeah, no, his name, Minta, is not indicative of where he was from at all. Minta, Tony Minta, super cool kid. I know he's still around. He owns some kind of a something business. I don't know, like he's a small business owner now.
Sure.
Tony Minta.
Yeah.
And he was in my gymnastics class. He was in my sister's grade. Everybody else in that class was in my sister's grade, and so they just kind of adopted me and like let me exist because I was small and weird. But they're just like, whatever, we know his sister, and so they just like let me exist. And they would like invite me to stuff. That was a very interesting experience. But anyway, one time, Tony, like we were all practicing like the rings, and we were trying to get going. Like we were just all so stupid and couldn't do any of the stuff correctly. So the teacher was just like, just wiggle on it, like try to get something out of the thing.
Just hold your body weight for 30 seconds.
You'd spend 70% of the class period setting up all the stuff and then breaking it down. But it was actually like tremendous fun. But one day this dude is like up there like basically seizing on the rings, like trying to get him swinging, and Tony's on the side, no, swing like a stick. And everybody just stops and looks at him like, what?
What does that mean?
How does a stick swing? And he's like, you need to be straight. Like he was like, he explained it, but I was like, I get it, but swing like a stick.
Yeah.
And so then for the rest of that year, like swing like a stick was a thing.
It's hard for that to not catch on.
Swing like a stick. Yeah, and he didn't. He never got swinging.
No. We had a gymnastics unit in gym. Only one. But the only reason I passed, I couldn't do anything. I hurt my nuts a lot.
Yeah.
Which people thought was funny, but like I didn't. But I could do the splits. And so I did them on the balance beam, and that was like enough points to get an A in that unit of gym. But it was a blast bouncing around on
it's not bad
springboards and stuff.
And we didn't have one of the floors that you do like the floor routine things, you know. We didn't have a proper one of those, but we would build one.
Oh, okay.
Like we had like the thing whatever where you would build one every day. Like that's how we started class, and yeah, it was fine.
Seems like it would take so long.
It took forever because it wasn't just that. You would build the floor, and then you would have to build like the uneven bars. You'd have to set those up, and they're like anchored to stuff. It was nuts. But then 3 weeks into it, we're like employees. We're like professional at setting that stuff up. Like so quickly, we're getting it put up. And then by the time we were in gymnastics 2, they had our class first, and then they scheduled a gymnastics 1 right after ours, so we didn't have to spend the last part of class tearing it down like they had to. So
that's tight.
For the second session, we only had to set it up. But I think usually they just didn't have enough idiots at one time to fill up a gymnastics 2 class. But they're like, look at this flock we've wrangled. We've managed to get. And it was the first class of the day. I remember I'd get it was great because it would be like, oh, I can like wear nothing to school. My first stop is locker room.
Yeah.
Homeroom is.
Would you shower in high school gym?
No, nope. We had showers.
Yeah.
I didn't even shower after sports.
I don't think
I would just go home.
Yeah.
We had the option if it was like a home game. You know, or for soccer, even if it was a away game, we would come back to the home locker rooms for a while. But
yeah, you'd have to like unpack all your stuff or whatever.
Yeah, but lacrosse was such like a ragtag experience at that point. I mean, it was a sanctioned sport, but it was so new and expensive and underfunded
Yeah.
that it was so ragtag that it was like, okay, everybody back here at this time tomorrow. Like, the first year, our coach was just a supervisor. He was like a local firefighter, had never played lacrosse, but he was like, I can come here for 3 hours a day.
Just to make sure these kids don't kill each other.
Yeah, he was just a
Yeah.
responsible adult. And we actually won games
Was he
that year.
Was he a parent or he's just
No,
like,
no.
Oh, that's
He was
super
just a
weird.
good dude.
Yeah.
He was just a good guy that would come and stand there, and he couldn't tell us how to do anything better or worse. He would just be there. He came to all of our games, rode the bus
Yeah.
to the games with us, and like, cause some of it's really long days. But then the second year, one of the like wealthy kids, like one of the kids had really wealthy parents, and they just donated a bunch of money to pay for a coach and to pay for transportation.
Wow.
Yeah. They wrote a pretty big check, and then
yeah.
that was another very like Mighty Ducks moment in life, where it was like we didn't get to like go to the store and have a free for all with equipment, but it was all of a sudden it was like, hey, you don't have to worry about this year. But then we got like a legit coach, and we sucked. We didn't win one game,
Wow. Oh man.
not one.
That does suck.
We did okay when we were just free balling it.
Yeah. Having fun, maybe not doing things technically correct. which,
Exactly.
you know.
But
if we've learned anything, that's how underdogs win.
it worked for a season, and then second season, I think what happened really was that every other team was on their second season of being coached well,
Oh sure.
and we were just starting
Yeah.
legitimate coaching. But a lot of us, like me included, like I went to the Powell Lacrosse Academy, which is like a sleepaway camp, but you play lacrosse during the day. Super weird.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But like I was into it, and I took it upon myself to get it figured out. It was a very new thing here. The Midwest, it was a brand new thing.
I don't think
Prior
South
Lake was the
Dakota-
first team
Yeah.
in the state to have the first school to have a sanctioned team was the team I was on.
We did. Yeah, we didn't
Super
have.
new.
We didn't have it. Our soccer teams weren't even school sanctioned. Like
Really?
hockey and
Well,
soccer.
it's so
were club.
expensive. Oh, hockey. Well, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It's so expensive to like insure that and to get coaches and transportation.
Oh, for sure.
I remember my hockey when I was a little kid. My hockey was it was a monthly payment. So you would pay it in July, even if you weren't on a team. It was just like, oh, we pay $60 a month instead of like $2,200. We know whatever it is at one time. That doesn't make sense. That math does not figure out. But because it was like $50 a month. I remember that number was ice time, and then whatever it costs to be in the league. But I remember there was like my folks would pay $50 every month just for ice time at the Burnsville Athletic Center. Now I don't know what it's called now, but it's definitely still there.
I don't know if we had. I want to say it was $100 to play total.
Like to join the team.
But the parents had to like volunteer X amount of periods.
Where you're scorekeeping.
That's the first time that's happened in a long time. That little sound thing.
Is it yours?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I just want to give up.
don't give up.
It makes me so upset because I don't know why it happens,
Just take it out.
and it doesn't happen consistently. You know, like these cords have been blown in freshly. You know, the mics were before they were all plugged in.
Is that why people do that?
I don't know.
Oh. I always wonder, why do people like check? Like when I used to go to concerts when I was little, I was like, why do they do that so much? And every act. Well, now I know it's because they're all using different microphones for one thing.
Which is weird.
Yeah, just leave it up.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
have the first Av set
Like a comedy club just has their mic.
has the mic.
Yeah. Nobody has to
It's
bring.
always
their own
stinky.
mic.
Did you ever notice that?
I've never smelled it, but it makes sense.
It's stinky. Well, I guess it's not stinky. It just smells like beer.
Bunch of degenerates spitting into it.
Spitting into
X
it.
amount of nights a week.
So much. Oh, every night I drive. I think about you on my way home from work. I drive by Bob's Comedy Shack. It's like attached to a bar that looks
Yeah.
like it's inside of a trailer park.
Oh, that's tight.
It's tight.
We
I
should
bet it
go
would be
check it out.
cool. It's like I think it's just in the basement of the trailer park.
Where is it?
It must be
Well,
Blaine.
Okay.
I don't know,
that's-
man. I'm driving so far for this
That's- yeah.
contract right now. It's nuts.
That's way out in the burbs. I don't want to go all the way out there.
It's far.
I live on the other side of this.
It's not even
the
burbs. It
metro.
feels like the country. It's off of Highway 10, just off the
Yeah.
highway.
No, that's too far. Roseville is too far for me. This isn't interesting, but it's not that far away.
Yeah, St. Paul side.
Yeah. I just have to drive through an entire city to get there.
But you'll be closer soon, right?
Yeah. Gonna move to the city. Gonna get back to living the life I want to live. You know, having a nightlife.
I like your spot right here, though. This is a nice. You got some space here, and
It's a good house. It's got a good yard. You know, just the landlord's all right.
yeah,
But things aren't going to get fixed. And we live around a bunch of dead ladies' shit. And I don't want to live around a dead lady's shit.
yeah.
I want to be able to throw it away or pack it away at least. But it's just there. I got to look at it every day.
That's an interesting challenge. Yeah,
Yeah, I have to walk through a basement that's full of,
someone else's memories.
yeah, musty stuff from the 80s. I don't care. If I could look through it and
Stuff
throw it
is
away,
so
but
strange, man.
Yeah.
Stuff is the weirdest thing.
No, if I die, burn all of my stuff.
How long has the owner of that stuff been not owning stuff?
Over half a decade.
Okay.
I don't want to say 10 years,
Okay.
but definitely more than 5. So
Hmm.
I don't know how long that is.
Yeah.
I thought it was over 10 years, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you hold on to stuff for a decade. Unless you're it's too much stuff. Get rid of everybody should be getting rid of their stuff at all times, right?
Yeah.
Consistently minimalizing.
Consistently minimalizing is it's a nice thing. It's nice to feel light and just.
I'm guilty of not doing it, but
It's tough. We get so attached to these things.
yeah, if you buy something new, get rid of something.
Yeah, I used to have like a 1 in 1 out policy, like the army. I used to do a 1 in 1 out thing. My goal was to have 100 things.
Sure.
Like you can own 100 things, but then it just gets too complicated.
Like a year and a half.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
It gets way too complicated because it's like, what counts as one thing? And
Is
it's
it-
like, well, one thing. And it's
is
like,
it-
well, then I can't have fucking cereal.
Yeah. I would be like, I counted like a pair of socks as one thing. You know?
Yeah.
What else? Like a pair of shoes is one thing.
Yeah, like that shouldn't be 2 things. Yeah.
But I did it. I gave away all my stuff, and like
Sorry, that was my head.
2 or 3 of my friends' parents called or emailed my mom and were like, "Hey, we think Samuel's gonna kill himself. He's giving away all of his stuff."
Oh, that's telltale.
But I just read a book about it, about a kid that lived with very little stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I could do that. That sounds kind of punk rock, anti-establishment, but in like a good way."
Yeah,
That-
civilly disobedient.
Yeah. And so I did that, and then
Nothing
I was
wrong
like,
with
you know what? I like stuff. I wish I wouldn't have given away 9 seasons of Scrubs. I want more
I wish
stuff.
you would have given them away to my hands.
Yeah, right? That was a lot of like Burger King checks that I spent on DVDs of Scrubs.
My DVD player would like to eat those.
Gone out the window. But they went to somebody else. Not necessarily out the window.
I love
didn't
Scrubs right now.
I didn't do that the best way.
No, I think
Uh,
you did. I think that's cool because you learned a thing from it. You ended up learning a different thing from it than you thought you would, and
You're gonna want those Scrubs DVDs.
yeah, you learned that you love Bill Lawrence.
I do love Bill Lawrence.
Good guy to love.
Oh man, have you ever seen Cougar Town?
No, I need to.
You should check it out.
Yeah.
You could skip the first season, because after the first season they changed the entire premise of the show. I mean, it's still the same, but it takes a different direction. It's pretty funny, you know. You're never gonna watch it.
No, I will. I really will. I'm at a time that, oh my God, I have no time.
Oh, I suppose.
I never have time. Like I looked forward to this. How long in advance did we plan this?
I don't know.
Not a week, but
A
close.
little less, yeah.
Like
I'm trying to get
that's-
better at that.
I don't know. I just have no time lately, and so The TV I watch is I put in a disc of The Office before I go to bed, and I just fall asleep to it. That's it. I watch the news when I wake up. I love it, though. I love it. I love watching local news when I'm like getting ready.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing ever.
I've never been a fan of the news, but
we're so lucky. Minnesota. We have seriously top-notch like local news reporting.
I don't even know where I would go to find it.
You could go, I would go with the local Fox affiliate. KSTP is a very good, reliable, good anchors, good reporting. Otherwise, the NBC affiliate, KARE 11, is very good. They're all good. You can't go wrong. CCO, WCCO, they do a good job.
We don't actually have cable.
No, none of these are cable. I don't have cable.
I mean, I don't think we have any TV.
These are all just
channels.
These are all just what like you would get if you like did a scan on this. These are all just the channels you would pick up for free.
Just by
you would hit like auto scan, yeah.
Oh.
And these are just the channels you would get for free.
I could watch like Brooklyn Nine-Nine on NBC and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you wanted it to be in HD, you would just buy a HD antenna like on Amazon. And then it comes in crystal clear.
We do have TV here. It's just the only cable like jack is in the homie Eric's room.
Oh.
And
I've never had cable.
According to him, that's the only place where there's a cable jack. I haven't looked. But
I've never had cable as like a
could we not run
adult.
a cord out here?
Oh, we had cable when we lived in Grand.
Yeah.
On Grand Ave. But that was there when I moved in. But I enjoyed it.
I love having cable.
I definitely watched television when I lived there.
The people that were most against us having cable in that house were the ones who watched it the most.
Who?
Adam and Mike.
Oh.
Just
why they just didn't like the extra like added costs?
They were like, we have Netflix, we have this, we have that. We're never gonna watch it.
Oh.
And me, a big TV head.
Yeah.
There's something really nice about being able to flip on a TV and being able to watch a portion of a show you've never seen and would never watch. You know?
I love shit that's always on. Pawn Stars, The Office. There's always an old episode of that on cable.
Right. Like
It's
I'm not gonna
easy
watch,
to please me.
I'm not gonna randomly. I do this every now and then, but I'm not gonna randomly turn on an episode of The Simpsons. Right. Or Family Guy.
Yeah.
But if I turn on a TV and that's what's on, I'll watch at least the end of the episode.
Yeah.
If not the next few, because I'm in that mood.
Yeah.
I got tricked again. I'm always getting tricked.
I never watched The Simpsons, but yeah. Well, actually, I watched I watched The Simpsons last night with Harper.
It's great. I have watched probably 6 seasons in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's one show that I can't like barrel through like I can every other show I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And it's pretty dense with jokes. And it's pretty dumb at times.
Yeah.
When I think, oh, Harvard guys wrote this show.
Yeah.
But then I think, dude, Harvard guys wrote this show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When I see it, I just think, oh, this is where like Family Guy wouldn't exist or without this. Like, you just see like, oh, this is a direction. This is where television took a direction where it was like, oh, cartoons don't have to have round edges.
No.
They can be stupid and gritty, and they can say, things that maybe they said on like a later time at night usually, or whatever. Yeah, and then I don't think you would have a Peter Griffin without a Homer Simpson.
No, but would you have a Homer Simpson without an Al Bundy?
Oh man. Well, I don't know I don't even know if Married with Children predates
it might
The
not.
Simpsons.
Simpsons is like 89, I want to say.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I should have gone with like
that's a good comparison because they're the same guy.
Yeah, like Norm from but he's not a dad. He's not the parent. That's not a single family sitcom.
Yeah, we don't know of him being a parent. I used to watch Cheers all the time. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I just loved the people. I would watch it when I was going to bed when I was in like elementary school. I had a TV in my room that just would get like 2 or 3 channels. I could watch Mighty Max in the morning.
Yeah.
That's all I really cared about.
Did you ever watch soaps?
No, my mom did. She would tape them. She had one tape where she would tape an hour of soaps every day onto it and then watch it when she would watch it.
It'd be funny if she didn't record like a specific episode, because a soap is I think an hour long.
I think
But
so.
she'd tape an hour of soaps, so she like started in the middle of one and then ended in the middle of one. I got the
she's
ending
a
of this one,
freak.
and then she'd do it the opposite way the next week.
Oh, she was into like The Young and the Restless.
Who isn't these days?
I don't know,
Yeah.
not her.
Dude.
She just had a tape of. It was just the same in her office. She had a TV VCR, and she just had a tape in there that it was just labeled like soaps, handwritten like on one of the labels that comes with the blank tape.
Yeah.
And then it was just always being recorded over. Like it just had the latest episode of whatever. So I think it was Young and the Restless. I don't really, or like As the World Turns. I don't remember, but. She would watch it. She couldn't watch it when it aired. It was like it aired at like 11 a.m. or whatever, and she couldn't watch it then. So she would watch it every day at like 3 or whatever it was, and do it over the next day. It's just a weird thing that she did.
That's I mean, I wonder how many times you can retape over a tape.
You can't that much. It gets crappy quick.
Yeah.
It gets like spotty and like crackly.
But
yeah.
maybe once you get to a certain.
She must have just kept moving it.
Yeah.
And then also, she was the one that I would see. She would put tapes in the freezer. Like when I would rent a movie from, the video store and it would be crappy, which would happen all the time. She would be like, "Oh, hang on." And she would put it in the freezer and it wouldn't always work, but sometimes it seemed to work. And so I didn't know if it was like, how like if you put glasses in the freezer, they would like fog up.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe it was only working while it was like fogged up or like that was like helping it gloss over. I don't even know how tapes work. So
I don't either. I think there's magnetic strips in them, but
it's more like a record than a CD, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I
don't know.
honestly have no idea. I thought like the tape, like if I looked at it, it would be like film reel, and there was
That's
a
what
little
I always
light
thought
that
too.
shined through it that reflected onto the TV screen.
That'd be amazing. Well, that's what would make the most sense.
Yeah, and there's
Just
just
a projection of film.
there's like a tiny projection booth. There's like a little guy in there smoking cigarettes, just flipping stuff on and switching reels.
One time, my friend and I were like literally digging through a dumpster, just trying to kill some summertime, and we found a bunch of cool treasures, and some of them, were it was just a box of cassette tapes, and we popped one in and listened to it, hoping to get like some cool jams out of it, but instead we were getting all these just titillating conversations, like. And this crazy story was unfolding. Yeah, it turns out it was a Stephen King book on tape. But we were like, this guy lives a crazy life and he lives in the same building. Like, it was in the building that we were
Yeah.
like, that our nanny lived in. Like, that we both had the same nanny. And we were like, I can't believe this. Like, are we going to tell anybody about this? Like, there are bodies now.
That's
Like, there are dead people at this point. Like, what are we going to do about this? And
how
then
long did you like worry about it?
Days, because whoever did it put it on it was like the pirating.
Oh, sure.
They put it on, they were clear discs. They're not discs but cassettes.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Just like ones you buy at like Radio Shack back then,
Yeah. Like he checked one out from the library and he's like, I'm gonna play this.
And he had a dual
and
disc
record it.
or like a dual cassette thing,
Yeah.
and copied it. And so it wasn't labeled or it wasn't anything like that. And so whoever we showed it to next, not a grown-up, was another kid that we're like, we're going to let you in on something. But you got to be cool.
And
Like,
then
your
got
life,
some-
you're going to get older today. And then he was listening. He's like, you guys are so stupid. We're like, yeah, we was just kidding with you.
We knew it the whole time it was Stephen King.
Yeah. And that kid was psycho, too. We knew we had to get him involved because we were like, he's nuts. He's pointed a gun at us before.
Oh, for sure. Turns out
He'll know.
reads a lot of Stephen King books.
Yeah. Turns out
That's
he's
why
nuts.
He seems like he's a psycho.
He's a 9-year-old with a ton of knowledge and a gun. So good thing he's on our side. Yeah, we would keep him in the loop on some things, and it was a good thing too because we slept a lot easier.
Like Dane Cook giving that guy he worked with at Snickers bar.
Mm.
Just covering your bases.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And crazy people are fun to talk to every now and then.
Yeah.
I've always said. But that is all the time we have.
All right.
Trying to keep them under an hour always.
Yeah. Hey, Cool. Thanks for having me back again.
Thanks for being on. Let's
Yeah.
do it again.
Okay.
I mean, we're keep hanging out, obviously.
Yeah.
But to everybody out there, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.